Hello, Cancer. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Cancer, this is going to be your February 2024 reading. This will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. Cross watcher, if that is you, welcome to the channel as well. Discern the messages, reverse the roles. Like, I'm going to adjust here a little bit, guys. If you're here, you know the drill, right? So I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who's liked, shared, subscribed, and commented to the channel as well. Personal readings, still working on a calendar. I've got my hands in everything. That's just all there ever is to it. And I'm like this, that, and all that good stuff. So Cancer, if you're interested in personal reads, the information right now via email, it can be found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. And you can reach out to me that way, or, you know, wait until the calendar comes out. Hopefully sooner than later. I'm working on it, one thing at a time. All right, guys. So let's just jump into it. I hope you guys are doing well. February. I just did Scorpio's reading, Cancer, a couple days ago. Very interesting read, and I'm curious to see how the water signs fare in February, especially following that reading. So, Cancer, let's just get right into it, see what's happening for you all. Mastery. Spirit just said intelligence. Mastering the intelligence, patience. Listen, be patient with yourself as you move through the month of February, definitely. Here's the thing. There is, okay, we'll start with this. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're working on, and I'm going to say this pertains to the self, there is, it's like kind of like you're questioning whether or not something is going to work. How is something going to turn out here with these fortune cookies? And they're talking about your experience too. This has to do with an experience. Know that whatever, spells and alchemy, I love it. Whatever you're working towards, don't allow your mind to run away with you. Because it's like, if you're questioning something that's coming from the mind space, that could be coming from self-doubt or, you know, lacking confidence or anything to that degree, right? I don't think that it's necessary. I think that whatever you're doing is unfolding a process for yourself that is going to require your patience and not knowing that that this particular flow is going to change overnight. And it's an interesting feeling that I get with this, Cancer. It's like Spirit is using the word alchemizing between water and earth element as well. So make sure you're grounding yourself. If you find your mind kind of wondering and getting up in your thoughts and your feels, is it really, I'm going to say your intuition talking to you, or these man-made construed ideas that say this must be it? Okay, so I hope that's making sense for you. But through this, whatever this is, there's a higher intelligence, that word coming out again, that you're going to gain by way of what plays out in your destiny. And Cancer, you guys are extremely intelligent, right? But the interesting thing to this is it's like a different type of awareness. I don't know why I feel the need to say this, but I'm going to say this. Cancer, a lot of you who are more spiritually inclined, more in tune with the self, this is going to be an easier transition for you. And I will say, some of you, and I kind of want to, the way Spirit is guiding this to me is, you may have friends or family or something like that who are also a Cancer or have significant Cancer placements. You may evolve through this way of being and opening up in a different way. However, they may not. And I think that's going to be a contrasting element for you as you understand. And that could be like the doubt. So let's just say that you guys look at, you know, tarot in general, right? And understand there's a great divide that's getting ready to happen once again. I said it during the pandemic, and I said it I think it was last year, and I'm seeing this again, where there are always going to be versions of different signs, cat here, that evolve, right? There's always going to be the dark, There's always going to be the light. So you may be dealing with an individual that holds significant Cancer placements in their chart, and you're looking at them as like comparing yourself to their situation. You may be evolving. They may not be. Don't compare your level of healing to somebody else's. It's kind of where this is going. But the emphasis, though, is on the Cancer placement itself. You're all on different timelines. So I just kind of feel like if you have somebody who doesn't lean into, and I don't say that, you know, you don't have to be involved in tarot or any of this in order to evolve in life, right? So I'm not trying to label that, but at the same time, there's a very big difference between you and this person, whoever this is for you. And you see that, you know that, but there's a doubt. It's like, well, if they're not getting this, how do I put this? Oh my gosh, I'm getting tongue-tied. Am I where? That's not right. Oh my goodness. Am I where I'm supposed to be, I guess? I don't know if that's broken English or not. That's the way it's coming through. Oh my goodness. Anyhow, moving on from that. But you're right where you need to be. If somebody else isn't progressing the way that you are, or the way you're feeling, or the vibrational frequency between you and a particular person is not the same, don't compare yourself to them. And it's almost like you're comparing yourself to that person in a sense of doubt, going, well, if I'm not where they are, then I'm not doing this right. Or if they're not where I am, maybe I need to slow down my growth so they can catch up. Do not wait on anybody to catch up to you. I don't care if friends, family, relationships, it does not matter. Do not wait for someone else to catch up to you. You keep evolving. The mastery is about yourself. And that's really, it's almost like you're comparing something. And whether it's your spirituality or something else, maybe it's a look, maybe it's a home, maybe it's material. Don't allow that to overshadow what you're doing for you. Okay? So I hope I'm explaining that correctly. Spirit just said ignore it. Ignore any of those thoughts that are coming in and rolling in for you, because it's gonna hold you back in your growth and your expansion. So if you're finding yourself in that monkey mind, get the hell out of it, okay? Don't stay there. All right, for Cancer. Pride. I see this for you guys. This card, I don't think has ever come, well, it's come out for a couple of the signs, but not prominently, Cancer, the way that it's come out for you. And there's Scorpius, retribution, and love at the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to take that. Listen, if you feel this is bitchy, and Cancer, I've seen this before, where it's this bitchy vibe, whether this is you or somebody else. But I see your pride, and whether it's related to the ego, your look, your aesthetic, mirroring, projection, I see that a lot with you guys. And it's almost like a lot of you could have dealt with maternal figures that were this way. Okay, it doesn't have to be, but, you know, place it where it belongs in your world. But it's like, there's something about the high of the ride that comes in with the ego, the way you feel secure, like that is your sense of love, is to feel really good. And I'm not knocking you, right? Whatever works for you, but it's like, it's got to be smooth. It's got to be perfected. Let go of the need to perfect anything with the pride. There's not a single person in this world who is perfect or has perfected anything. Are they really good at it? Are they mastering things? Yes, but have they perfected it? No. We are all perfectly imperfect human beings, is the way I've always put it. Here's the thing. If you're dealing with some pain and difficulty of the past where you have felt ignored, left out, forgotten about, that has made you cold towards something, let go of any anger that seeks retribution. Okay? That card came out in Scorpio's reading. It was extremely profound. And I'm seeing it here too, but it's coming out sideways. So it's kind of like you're trying to shed this anger, this frustration, and this too can stem from the level of self-doubt, right? It's like, I need to feel good about myself. I can't let them know that they've bothered me. I can't let them know that I've been affected by whatever a situation and or person has done. And Spirit is saying whatever has been said. So it's like, that's where the ego, it's almost like this really tough facade. And I think that when you go out into the world, Cancer, that's the image that you're projecting out there, is like, yes, I am put together, I am organized, I am well, I am comfortable, I am all of these things that you hold value to you. And everybody, you're all going to be different because you all got different placements, right? All a different experience. But it's like, with that, don't allow any past hurts, aggression, pain, anger to be the cause for you to be in that space. Be in that space for the sake of yourself, that you genuinely, within, feel that energy. Not because you're trying to not allow someone else to see that you have been hurt or it has made you cold to some degree. Okay? So pay attention, because I do feel, and what I like about this Pride card with the retribution coming out sideways is it's a 5. 5 is indicative of changes, right? Changes, transformation, things that cannot remain the same anymore. And with retribution sitting there like that, I feel like there's just some energy, probably from the past, that is kind of coming in every now and again, kind of like that self-doubt that says, but you should be angry. You should feel a certain way. And it's kind of like being torn between like a love-hate dynamic, drawing a line in the sand. And, you know, there's a fine line between love and hate. And I kind of feel like that's where this leans into. This is like, I should be really pissed about whatever this is, or I should be really angry, or I was angry. But then there's times where you're finding some kind of compassion that goes, gosh, I'm stepping into my emotions when it comes to this. I don't want to be angry or aggressive or bitchy or whatever. It's like you're starting to see a shift in your emotional balance and the emotional self, and you're trying to keep your emotions in check. Allow the tide to flow. Thank you, Spirit. Allow the tide to flow, because it's going to recalibrate. It's like washing away scars. It's washing away things that are just rough and dented or beat up. It's smoothing it out. And I forget, I don't know if it was Taurus's reading, I can't remember now. There was a card, and it's like, you see the fossilized stuff in this card. I can't remember what the card is called. But I remember saying, when you look at the ocean, you know, all of the debris that all the shells, the driftwood, crustaceans, whatever, the more that water rushes up, and then the sand, the mix of the two, and you'll see this here with this geomancy patience card. You see the sand, but you see the water flow that's going over top of it, right? It smooths things out. It gets rid of the rough edges. It makes it softer. Allow yourself to become softer, Cancer. You don't have to be angry anymore. Whatever your frustration has sat in, you don't have to be angry about it. It's okay to, just because you step into a place of giving compassion or love to a situation, does not mean that you should accept the situation for what it is, but it also doesn't mean that you accept that behavior or those words or whatever it was in your life anymore. There's that fine line again, right? Allow this to make you softer, make you more gentle, allow you to put your to be vulnerable into the right spaces, but don't allow life to keep you hardened to past experiences. Okay, so that's that there with that. Now, hang on a second. I'm gonna, right, okay, I'll go back to it. I'm getting myself confused. All right, let's see here, Cancer. What else? Spirit is saying distinguishing the differences as well. So I think that's the point where I said to you, or it goes back to the point that don't compare yourself to others. There are things that are going to distinguish you and the differences between you and somebody else, or a particular situation, or where you were as opposed to where you are, or how you've changed or morphed into where you're going, 6 months out, Spirit is giving me, is going to be a time frame, I think, where you're going to look back right now at frustration, anger, hurt, and go, that was a difficult period. And I don't think, when I say difficult, it's going to be difficult in the emotional sense of, Spirit is saying reliving the past. So you could be clearing out, really working to clear out that emotional hurt so you can step into this softer way. Letting go of any hostile type of energy and or environments. They're showing me something and I can't quite figure out what it is. They just keep going and we'll bring it back. Okay, so, nope, made, Spirit, thank you. All right, for Cancer in the past energies, please, Spirit. The Death card. You got a lot of Scorpio energy. You could be working with, dealing with a Scorpio. Does not have to be, right? Love card 2 being Taurus and Libra. And I think I mentioned Taurus's potential reading in regards to softening of things and, you know, getting rid of those rough edges. Death, the World card. But this here is 2 massive endings. Incredible. The Death card and the World card. I said you're changing, you're transforming something here, right? Like you are going from the way you were to the way you are to the way you're moving forward, as above, so below. Again, that water and earth element, I can't help but feel that energy of it sits above the ground, then there's the ground. There's the water, there's the sand, right? The water sits on top and then seeps down through. This may pertain to, they're showing me like quicksand. It's almost like whatever you have dealt with, Cancer, July could be an important time marker for you guys. I'm not sure if it was the previous July or this July coming. Well, hold on. This is February, March, April, May, June, July. That's 6 months out. You could feel like from this point forward, like it's almost like quicksand for you. Like whatever this is that's taking you on this new journey could feel like it has sucked you up. Spirit is also saying sucking you dry. It's not. This is a recalibration for where you are going. You have got to keep that in mind. When that self-doubt creeps in, the anger, the whatever, this is a recalibration to balance. It's trusting your higher knowing. You're digging up some kind of pain here. There's something here, Wheel of Fortune, where you're going to have to go back and review. The frequency just changed in my ear. Ooh, it's screaming. Ooh, Spirit. Whoa. That was intense. Holy mackerel. Wheel of Fortune. You may see this as like, God, I've got to look at this stuff again. I've got to review these things. But there's a higher awareness that comes in with you reviewing these things. I forget what the astrology is, and I need to brush up. It's been a hot second. Is to us revisiting some stuff. But it's also for the divine purpose of not allowing us to return to habits, patterns, routines, people, situations that it's catapulting us forward with this Wheel of Fortune. So with this 5 of Cups, it's like, remember, you might have to look over these 3 cups again and understand a few things. But on the other side of this, there's 2 cups in the upright. Don't get lost in the sorrow and the pain and the difficulties of where you've been. That 9 of Wands there, I'm going 5 back. 3 is, look at this. I said the pain, the 9 of Swords, the 3 of Swords. You could be dealing with another Cancer. I typically read the King of Cups as Scorpio. Pisces. I'm going to throw this out to you though, Cancer, that I feel like with this card, this is somebody else that you've dealt with, and this can also be some inner child wounding that is now trying to heal. Like you've kind of fought your way through some inner child bullshit. For some of you, there's a particular wound that occurred ages 17 to 20 that has either repeated a cycle from the past before that, or it was the beginning of the cycles that would repeat in the years to come. So take a look at that. You're going to know better than me or anybody else what that means to you. This is those 3 of Cups that have been knocked over that you're reviewing. But you have to remember where you've come from, Cancer. And it's a change. It's a change for the better, but it's the intuitive awareness. And I think you know that. Pay attention to, I feel like for some of you, your third eye could really be opening, or is already opened. Okay. And with that, I would typically say pay attention to your dreams. This more feels like to me the subconscious awareness coming through even in the waking. So you could be in the middle of your day and be very clairvoyant and getting images or seeing something that is bringing some sort of awareness into you that could have been something that you've buried pretty deeply, that you didn't want to have to acknowledge it, I can't talk, honest to goodness, either to acknowledge it or to bring it up to the surface so it can be buried once and for all. The death card, the world card, very imperative to those closings, and that you're not who you were. And I want to say, whatever this past thing is where there's this fine line between love and hate, you're not the same version of you that dealt with this situation when it occurred. So it's changing immensely for you. You're calling an end to this. You got triple Scorpio here, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius as well. So let's keep going. What is the present energy then in February for... I talked about that anger, the obsession. Cancer, there could be somebody who has been obsessed over you, who is trying to communicate some argumentative ways. This could also be the thing. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm so sorry. The cat. The cat is always into something around here. But that anger that we talked about earlier, this could also be somebody else you're dealing with. But this, if you've got anger being directed at you, odds are you're going to get angry with the energy that's being directed at you, right, about it. So, could be dealing with a Capricorn. Doesn't have to be. I just throw those placements out there so you're aware of what you're dealing with here. So, or could be dealing with, but it does not have to be. Present for February for Cancer, please. Knight of Wands. King of Cups. There it is again. You're going to step into this, I feel like, okay. Two of Pentacles. Queen of Swords, the Empress. Page of Cups. Eight of Wands. Cancer, I think in the past, you've seen an exit, right? It's like that death card is you seeing some kind of finish line in something. Present energy is this need to rush into that exit. It's like, I've been dealing with this for so long, I'm just, boom, I'm gone, I'm out. The underlying energy here, and I feel like this is the word of guidance for you, is patience. You cannot fly your way through a process. You might be sick of this process. You might be over it. It might be draining you. But it's got to transform you. There's a lesson in it that is got to be understood, right? Like, you figure when we go through these experiences, if we're not present and aware, the lesson in itself is being missed. There's something deeper beyond the surface that you're supposed to experience and understand. There's something about the understanding. That's why this is going, I won't even call it slowly, but when you're living in it and you want something to be done, it could feel like it's an eternity, right? It's like being at work one day and you look at the clock and it's 9:05 and it feels like 2 hours have gone by, and you look at the clock and it's 9:20. It's like, oh my gosh, like, could this day just hurry up? Same energy. Whatever this situation, could we just hurry up? Can we just get this over with? But part of this understanding, going back to that love, you've got the emotionality of the King of Cups, who is riding his little cement block. I don't know how else to put it. He's riding his cement block. Everything around him is bouncing up and down. This is learning to stabilize your emotions. They're bringing up Gemini for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about. They're not giving me any clarity on that. But it's learning to stay calm to stay cool, stay collected. I would ask you to ask yourself, have you seen a massive fluctuation in the past couple of years with your energy and your emotions? Because if you have, this is part of this lesson for you, is to understand how to balance that. It's like, you know, and I say that, and I wasn't even thinking, there's the Two of Pentacles. Look at the waves. Yes, it's the card of the Pentacles. It's the tangible. But look at the highs and the lows and the emotions. The water is the emotions. So, you know, in that, you can't, I've said it before for Scorpio, you can't think your way through this. You're going to have to feel your way through this. It's going to create emotional stability where you've seen these real extreme highs and these real extreme lows. Like maybe one day, you know, you're out and ready to take on the world, and then 2 days later, you've burnt yourself out so bad, you just want to stay in the house for the next week, put the blanket over your head, and just not deal with anything. It's like, just bring me a pork chop and leave me be. Like, I'm good, right? So with this Cancer, it's like this is set to balance your emotions, and so that in the future, after this 6-month period, Spirit is saying, you stay steady and even killed, where you're better equipped to handle things on the emotional level. 4 of Cups, future, 8 of Swords. Cancer, Queen of Pentacles. Same energy Scorpio ended up with. All right, I'm going to clarify these before I go flapping my gums. Again, this boredom of when does this end? My problem with this, and I said earlier, stay out of your mind with those fortune cookies of all things gave me that. You've got the 8 of Swords here. That's self-imposed restrictions. I feel like for some of you, Spirit said whether or not you want to admit it, that could be tied to that pride, you throw yourself back into this, it's breaking those habits, right? You know, the habits, the patterns, the codependencies, and toxicities are not just, you know, smoking, drugs, drinking, gambling, all those crazy things, right? It's also habits. It's the way we think. And I think that that's where you're kind of stepping back and forth into this fine line between love and hate, right? It's a fine line. And give me 1 second, I want to write something down. Okay. That's where you're getting back into that mind space that's not so healthy for you. All right, what is this Death card about? Whoa, I'm going to take that because that doesn't belong in this deck. Many options, unconventional, one-night stand. I feel like, yeah, the stringing along is what sticks out to me. Again, that this has gone on for so long. Like, it just feels like an eternity. And for some of you, this situation could have been happening for the last 3 months. But it just seems like it's been years. Like there's a Spirit is saying it feels like there's a time lapse between then and now, and it's just like, okay, but I'm still here in this somehow. You've got to give it time, because there's victory and success that lays on the other side of this for you. All right, Queen of Wands, Strength card. All right, you guys are very, very intuitive. Some of you, you could be changing jobs. I don't know where that just came from. Trying something new. You could be experiencing or dabbling in something new that you haven't done before. Could have been an interest, but now it's like a complete rebirth of all these various parts of your world. But I also feel like this one thing on the emotional plane has created the hang-ups for you along the way. Okay? Don't, Spirit saying too, self-dependency. You can be, we always talk about codependency, right? You can also be overly independent. And they're talking about that. Are you putting it all on you? Are you sleeping, eating, breathing responsibility in ways that you should not? This is about your boundaries. To be so self-dependent. It's like it's okay to ask for help, right? If you don't know, it's okay to ask for help. And I think that was part of your challenge in the past, was understanding that you've got to open up to other people too. You can't expect, and I'm going to say this to you, and they're coming in with this, you can't expect other people to open up to you when you're not willing to do the same, because you're afraid you're going to get hurt if you do. This is a hard lesson about the equal exchange of energy that you give and get, and going, well, I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to stay right here in my bubble and doing it the way in my head that I have always done it, because I am then secure if I remain in this energy. But nurturing Cancer, right? It's what you guys do. It's who you are. But you can come to me. I'll help you. But I'm not going to tell you that I have a weak spot and I need help. You're not here to fix the world, Cancer. You're here to work on yourself first. You have to be better, because if you're not better, there ain't a soul in the world you're going to be able to effectively help the way you need to. Pour into your cup before you pour into others. Okay? Big lesson there. This Death card. Six of Swords, Page of Cups. Interesting. Okay. Take another path here. For some of you, it's like two things. One side of this, some of you could have left a marriage or a situation, any situation, doesn't have to be marriage, and have wondered about a past person, or have, I'm going to say, almost made up what a new person would encompass in your life when it comes to love. Okay? It's an interesting side note, but nonetheless it's there, because it's like you're seeking peace in this, whatever it is. Second to that, you have dreamed about this moment of change. You have manifested this moment of change for yourself. You've begged, pleaded. You could have been on your knees talking to God and said, I need this. Like, I can feel it. I know it. I can breathe it. Like, I just want to be there. There's such a great desire to be in that place of peace. Now you're here. Sometimes we're not as ready as we think we are, right? Because then we have, like, now we see it very clearly what an evolution this is. The Judgment, the Hierophant, and the King of Swords. I don't think you were fully aware in the past of how deep this would run and how much of yourself you were going to have to give to a situation. At least for what is to come. Because it's like, once you open Pandora's box, you're in it. You've got to work through every piece of that. So it's like you've created this, you've wanted it, and you've got it. The World, the Justice card. You could be dealing with a Libra. Again, does not have to be the Hermit. This is sending you within. This is absolutely sending you within to take a look at the deep introspection of the self and realize how far you've come. Spirit is saying, by stepping into whatever this awareness is, you're not hanging yourself out to dry. You might feel like you are, because it's like, I've just tied a noose around my neck kind of feeling. Like, why did I even start this? Why did I dream about this change? Because this change seems so hard to me. But in this, though, and this is the funny thing, the love and the hate seeping in, you're loving where it's taking you. You're hating what you're having to deal with in the meantime. It's heavy. But there's a balance that is happening. And I don't care if you think you do or not. You have got the strength to overcome whatever this is. You have put too much thought and emotion from the past into something to let it stop you now. You wanted to master this. You wanted to change this. But it's like the timeline in which it takes you to get there is exhausting. You're not a superhero. You're somebody's hero, but you're not a superhero. You're human. You feel, you think, you know, you see. Accept yourself for who you are. What is this Knight of Wands about? Seven of Swords. I said you're just trying to get through it, right? It's like, I don't want to deal with this. Seven of Swords. This isn't fun anymore. King of Wands. Oh my God. I said it the other day in Scorpio's reading. Can we get a single reading without the King of Wands showing his face? Again, probably not. I'm pretty sure I worded it the exact same way. You could have been dealing with somebody that represented control and domination. And I said that in Scorpio's reading, and I'm seeing it here again with these two cards. The difference here is you're surpassing that. This could have been the individual. It doesn't have to be a Sag, Aries, or Leo. But this could have been the individual that it's almost like you have to face something. This King of Wands could be an internal you, right? That you're having to face. And it's like that Seven of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands again, but in the reverse is like, this isn't fun. Go, go, go. Wait, pump the brakes. I don't know if I want to do this. This is change. This is transformation. This is making me do something very differently and see it very differently. I don't see a way out. There is a way out, Cancer, and it's coming. But you're going to have to do the emotional work to work through it. No, and we have to start really looking into the things that hurt us or caused us pain and being real in the sense of accountability of what that represents to us within. It can be very, very painful, especially when we start to realize, because we are all responsible in some way for our own suffering. Regardless of what other people have done to us, we are accountable, or need to be accountable, for the role that we played in our suffering or allowing it to continue. There are things we have no control over, but how we engage with it, we do. So now that you have to engage with the healing aspect of this, it's like, just get me off the wheel. It's like being on one of those, it's called the roundups or whatever at the carnivals. Back is suctioned to the thing, and all of a sudden you just had, French fries, corn dogs, and funnel cakes right before you got on there, and you're feeling a little queasy, and it's like, somebody shut this ride off, please, and you're screaming, let me go, let me off, before I puke everywhere, right? Horrible, whatever, but still, it's there. And that's what this feels like to me. Is like, let me off of this ride, because I don't think I can handle this. Yes, you can. Remember why you were dreaming about what it looked like on the other side of this. Because I do feel like you are sensing this balance that's coming in. But I think that when these moments of influx are coming at you that are very heavy, they're super heavy. And it's very scary. But have faith in yourself and reach out. Look at this. Look at this. There's that Two of Pentacles showing up again. The Sun, it's healing. The Star, it's healing. You have banked on this moment like your whole life. And maybe you just kept putting it off, and invested in Cancer. I've seen this for you guys before, where you'll go help somebody else, right? But then you leave yourself out to dry that way because you're using distractions. You understand there's a sense of freedom in this emotional balance, but it's like you're there's that Five of Cups again. You're in and out of it. Very in and out of it. You can almost feel like you're walking between, like, worlds are morphing. Like, you ever see one of those movies where, like, they're walking through, I don't know, where there's like a timeline, they're cutting it short because it's a movie, right? And they're walking through a desert one day, and within 5 seconds they're now walking through some crazy city in downtown LA. Like, it's like you're watching these things happen really quickly, feeling everything. Like, it's a weird way they're showing this to me, but it's like you're in and out of one thing into the next, into the next, into the next. But it's creating healing. It's creating space. It's creating room for your goals, your dreams, your accomplishments to truly go full circle for you. On the other side of all of this, it's like there's a rainbow. There's something beautiful that comes in on your wish fulfillment. There's something that is, you start to recognize how different you truly are. It's like letting go of a ghost that lives within you. Like, leave the shadow behind. And that may be part of this love and hate Spirit just said too, is you don't know whether to love or hate the old version of yourself because you allowed things or people or whatever to cross boundaries or played a role in your own suffering. Don't hate yourself, forgive yourself. You did the very best that you could do in the moment with the tools that you had. And now that you're waking up to this, it's like, I should have done it differently. or I wish it would have happened differently. Give yourself grace. Give yourself love. Allow this awareness to free you rather than to consume you. Okay? 4 of Cups for the future energy of Cancer. I love this. What are the odds? The Queen of Cups, the King of Cups, with the 4 of Cups. I feel like there's some apathy in Queen of Wands. For some of you, this could be, what do I want to call this? For some of you in regards to partnerships, this is like apathy. It's weird. But I also feel like for some of you, the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, they're both you. It's you. Not, you know, the Queen of Cups is very emotional and nurturing, which is you, Cancer. But you see, it's like the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy with you finding balance. That you can be vulnerable and open and still stand up for yourself. Take on both sides of that role, and you see, you know, she's got a pretty red hair. That gray, that salt and pepper is, Spirit just said, a requirement of age. For some of us, depending on what kind of genes you have, huh? But it's a maturity. It's fully matured. You had an awareness, now you're fully maturing. I feel like this is just you. In regards to partnerships, what I'll say is that somebody around you who was fully supportive, it was hard to see how they were trying to support you because you weren't supportive of yourself. So it's kind of like this companion type soulmate who has stood by you unconditionally while you had to examine. I keep talking about those 3 cups, right? Even on the 4 cups, there's those 3 cups that are in his focus. They stood by you to let you go through those 3 cups to figure out what was happening and why, so you could examine and review the situations for what they were. I will say to you guys, though, too, there's a divine feminine figure on the other side who I've kind of made little comments about this before, but I see it this way. I see the universe as like Rafiki from the Lion King, when he's got that staff and whatever rattle thing that's on the end, I'm not even sure. But he goes around whapping everybody on the head with that thing. This Queen of Wands, I've seen her come out numerous times underneath here. That's what she reminds me of. It's like the universe going, cracking you on the head. There's your lesson. Let's keep moving. On to the next jungle, right? That's how that queen, you've got somebody around you that's bopping you on top of the head going, now do you see? All right, next lesson. You could kind of see it as, was it a Christmas Carol? Where they take him around. I'm not much of a movie or TV watcher. And they show him all the different parts of his life. Okay, you've learned the lesson here. Let's keep going. This Queen of Wands, there's somebody, spirit, guides, angels, ancestors, they're walking with you. Feels divine feminine to me. And they're helping you through these lessons. For some of you, if they, a particular person that's passed over, if you're dealing with anger after they're gone or upset, Spirit's saying they're sorry. They're very sorry for the letdowns and the hurt of the past. Let's see, what else? What else for Cancer Spirit? 2 cards of Cancer. Holy shit. Seriously. There's that 4 of Cups again. I just heard stop blaming yourself, please. The Moon and the Chariot, Cancer. Double confirmation of you with the 8 of Swords. Again, there's this massive feeling of wanting to rush through this. But you also know, again, like I'm reiterating here, it's like it's taking too long. I just want to get on with it. I've learned my lesson. Let's keep going. There's the Devil and the Hermit. I feel like this is you taking a look at you. I really do. I don't care what you've been through, Cancer. Listen. I have sat with people from housewives, waitresses, cooks, lawyers, government officials, people that have been in jail for horrendous crimes, addicts, children, abusers, and the abused. I don't care what you did. You've got to stop judging yourself. I don't care what role you played in something. You've got to stop judging yourself. Whether you were the perpetrator or the victim in a situation. However you want to view it. You maybe did not create this, but you are required to heal it. You can't rush through this. You can't just fly off into the wind. The moon is the emotions. It is the subconscious. It is digging so deep and pulling yourself to the surface so victory and success can be yours. Do you see the duality? This is also healing the divine masculine and the divine feminine, as I said back here with the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. I almost kind of feel like you fault your divine feminine going, you were overriding me. You were showing me this was the only way, and I never got to step into my masculine and stand up for myself. Stop blaming the other side of you that did not know better. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is, you've dealt with somebody that helped to put you in this position. And then within, as you're healing through this, as you're stabilizing, you're also looking at yourself and blaming yourself. You don't have to cast blame. With blame comes shame, then guilt. And then you go back to vulnerability. Brene Brown, check her out. She is the queen of emotional research. If this is where you are, my biggest suggestion to you is that it will help you understand all of those things and why we sit there. And we've all been there, but you have got to love both sides of yourself, Cancer. Whew. Exhausting. But I'm going to tell you, self-forgiveness. February is self-forgiveness. I don't know why I have such an emphasis on Valentine's Day. I'm usually just like, who cares? But give yourself that love. You need this love. Sit down with you in this physical form and go, I don't care if you have to draw a picture of yourself or take 2 pictures. I don't know, whatever. 2 pictures of yourself and go, here's my feminine energy, here's my masculine energy, and sit down and have a conversation with them. There's some crazy ass shadow work for you. People are going to think you're certifiable if they don't understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. But sit down and look at yourself and have a conversation with you. And say, this is what I seen in you. This is how it made me feel. This is what I seen in you. This is how it made me feel. Find acceptance, love, and forgiveness. There is a very fine line between love and hate, and I feel like you're tiptoeing back and forth between the two. I know I need to give myself compassion. I know I need to give my or somebody else or my situation compassion, but God, it makes me so angry. Ho'oponopono, prayer. It's why in prayer, forgiveness. All right, advice. What I say, vulnerability, right? You got to open up. If you've had people that have come to you and you're like, oh yes, tell me all your secrets and I will be here to support you. And they're like, well, how about you? And you're like, oh, no, wait a second, I'm really good. Slow down. There's that patience and open up. You're being asked to open your heart to another, to try to let down your walls and trust that they want what's best for you. Your life will open up in wonderful ways once you decide to open up. There you go. There you go. Fresh start. I'm telling you, you got the sun and the star with the King of Cups, justice, the moon. And here's the fun fact here, Cancer. And I'm looking on the board here, the way these cards are laid out. The only thing major arcana you've got to the left is the death card. That's it. Granted, it's a big freaking card, right? Pluto energy. Pluto and Aquarius floating around. To the right and what's to come, The World with Justice. The King of Cups with the Sun, the Star. The Eight of Swords with the Moon, the Chariot. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 majors out of 8 cards on this side that are moving you forward. This isn't a matter if you want to. This is a matter of you are going to, per Spirit. And this fresh start is coming in. There is no way. And their Spirit is asking you to fully open up to these changes. Connect. You're being asked to connect with others in meaningful ways. Sometimes it's helpful to get new perspectives and to simply be around other people. You're in need of this right now, and deep connections will benefit you in many ways. And I said to you, you may need to ground your energy. There it is. The underlying is anytime you're feeling off balance, ground yourself, connect to the earth, connect to people. And you're going to find where maybe you've been fearful, right? That subconscious is the fear of moving on as well. Like it's almost like you feel like you're abandoning a part of yourself. You're letting the old you die. You don't need that person anymore. You don't need that version of yourself anymore. That version of you was meant to teach you to survive. You're not here to survive, just survive all the time. You're here to thrive and grow and propel forward. Allow yourself to connect to that and go, I love you, little whoever you were. Little Joey, little Susan, little Bobby, little Jane. You got taught to survive. Thank you for doing what you could to keep me safe. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for doing everything that you knew how to do. But a time, a reason, and a season. Now we have to part. Because I'm not that little version of me anymore. The maturity, the aging, in the 3D, but more than anything, the lessons and the experience, Cancer, that you have gained. Let go of the definition of the self that you once created to survive. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not needed anymore. You're not where you were anymore. You're going to find people who just want to truly love you. I think that for some of you, you've had these people around you, but your boundaries and your barriers have been so hard, you don't know how to connect to that. Why? Because of fear. And like I said, if you've dealt with another Cancer and you don't see them stepping into that, you could be comparing yourself to that person. Maybe their love language is different too. Like I feel like there's the negative side of dealing with certain individuals that could be a Cancer or another water sign specifically that you've compared yourself to, and you're just on a different playing level. Now, on the flip side to that, Cancer, as well, you've had people who are nurturers too, but with healthy boundaries that just want to express and connect with you. And I think you've had that around you for a while, but you've been overly picky and selective and not willing to see that these people were actually trying to love you all along. And that's what I always said. Like, you could have had someone that was fully supportive, but either you pushed it away or whatever it was. They want to be there. They don't want anything from you but just to be there. They're genuine. Ask yourself where you've questioned those things and if you did it out of a sense of protection mode. If you dealt with a specific sign before, not everybody is the same. Okay? It's where they are on their timeline. It is what they've chosen to evolve. The lines between the two are going to become more clear as this next divide and shift happens. Play with that. Okay? All right. Cancer, I'm leaving it there. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm wishing you all the very best. Have a wonderful day. Happy Valentine's Day from me to you. Do something good for yourself. Do something that makes you feel good. you know, whatever it is. But I'm sending you all my love. So happy Valentine's Day to you guys in February. More videos, of course, are to come. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye.